Hi everyone, this is Dan Fry here. I know some of you know who I am, some of you don't, some of you might in the future, hopefully. I'm forever inventing new ways to regenerate more subscribers and followers, and it's always a pleasure to welcome those new, past, present. But anyway, basically, I thought I would utilise this opportunity to discuss how it all began, because some of you have been asking during some of your reviews and during the discussions we've been having recently. I was born in Islington, London, and from a very early age, as far back as I can remember, anyway, I've always had this avid interest in the arts, in film and television. I was a real kind of TV freak. Soap operas were my thing back then, and I can't stand them now, which is quite ironic, really. But I loved soap operas so much that I used to write little cassette radio soap opera episodes and involve all of my friends. I used to involve all my friends and get them to perform on my little cassette recorder deck. Rather reluctantly they did. But basically then I used to edit them together, splice them together with two, this stereo I had hi-fi with a double deck, which was all the rage back then in the 80s. Basically that kind of, I went to drama school, Western College Drama School, a place called Anna
Hollywood director,
you just kind of go to regular classes of an evening, and if you're lucky enough to get in the professional class, then you go on to do auditions, and she represents you. And so I did a bit of that. Then I discovered my sexuality in clubs, and then that was the last of that, basically.
You forgot to tell the public that he kind of uses you a little bit, because he puts thumbnail pictures up showing them to scantily clad and everything, and sometimes like with their dicks censored with those pixelated dots, because if they didn't put that then they get flagged and taken off. But basically he does that just to lure you in, guys.
To me, actually, apart from a debauched lifestyle.
True.
But that soon kind of changed in the sort of late 90s.
Well, yeah,
I decided that I wanted to find myself an agent, so I found myself an agent, got a bit of work, but it wasn't much, it was just bits and sods. But from that, you know, I decided, I've got my mojo back again, and I started writing, and I bought myself a camcorder back then, or rather my friend did, which was a hi-8 camcorder, and we made some films on that, and again I spliced them together using this rather kind of archaic
so ostentatious
video editing machine, where you fade up, fade down, dim up. But basically, the tape to tape, you had to edit tape to tape, and it kind of lost clarity after each generation. So that you know, it didn't please me watching back the edited film that I'd made with lots of like turbulence and static. So yeah, lo and behold, then came digital, and we started making films. But started, you know, over the times, I think the storylines have differed, and some are good, some are great, some are not that great. Technically, some are shit, but you know, the storyline could have been good, or would be good, is good. But yeah, I thought I'd use this chance to give you a little bit of a lowdown on some of the films that have become quite popular on the YouTube and Vimeo channels.
So I'm not picking my nose, people.
And give like a blow-to-blow verbal, you know, premise of them, rather than, you know, just keep on making these promo ads that we've been making. We've been making a lot recently. So I think we'll start with the...
You drivel so much. Fucking hell. I'm surprised you got any followers.
I think we'll start with the first film, which is Purple Haze. That's been, you know, without doubt the most successful so far, with, you know, up to 4.5 million views. Anyone I know, anyone I love to suffer in silence, if they have come down with some debilitating illness, then why should people have to prolong that process. So this film was kind of, you know, done in a surreal way, but it was primarily about how I believe that, you know, euthanasia should be legal in the end of the day. I'm not somebody that wants to tell a story that everybody's going to love, because then I think I'd be doing something wrong if that was the case. You know, it's nice to watch your viewing figures.
Do you know what everyone thinks of your drivel and what I think of your drivel? This is what I think of your drivel.
And I implore anyone who hasn't seen it and is interested, even if they don't agree with the topic, to watch it, because it's not necessarily just about that, and it takes you off into a different realm, and it does become quite fantasy-like. Let's say that. So yeah, that's Purple Haze. Then another. I mean, the first biggest film that increased massively on here and kind of went viral when I was just like, you know, overwhelmed and gobsmacked, was Like Father Like Daughter, which is a short little film about a gay guy who goes to Australia. He's from Britain, to catch up and meet his daughter, his 16-year-old daughter, for the first time ever. After he'd had a one-night stand with a lady, or actually it was a little bit more than that, it was a casual relationship 16 years ago when he was still closeted or still bisexual. But basically he's come not only to see her, to start making amends and feel British, but to also bestow some bad news that she may have inherited his schizophrenia, and she has. So that became quite a popular film already, like in 3.5 million views at the moment, and I am proud of that story as well. Actually, that's also a little bit way out there, surreal, erratic. I think is not but not too much that you can't follow the story. It still has a narrative and it's still coherent. But yeah, I mean, I'm not really interested, to tell you the truth, in making simple films, and by that I know that everyone has their own definition of what simple means, but by that I mean I don't want a paint by numbers film. I have made a couple of films which are more comedy based, and they're not too kind of surreal or not too. That's that one. Then there was a film that I did recently called Play With Me. Now, Play With Me, it's been a real surprise hit actually, but it has a lot of dislikes compared to. Well, I thought a lot more people might appreciate this quirkiness, but I've got over that now because it's still increasing in viewers. It has around 600,000 at the moment, and I'm getting some good reviews from people who like film, who like to be challenged when they're watching a film, who enjoy being taken down red herrings and not knowing where it's going particularly, which is really basically what There's nothing better than hearing it from the horse's mouth, you know, from the public, from people out there who really do appreciate watching something that's independently made, you know, made with no budget or a little budget, made just purely through passion and love, and not having to be bogged down with your limited resources and money and you know, and I believe in what I do. I like what I do, and I know I've had a lot of comments encouraging me on that. So therefore, I'll continue to make them as long as that still lasts. But it's so much nicer, I think, at the end of the day, to hear from you, the people, the public, the viewers who aren't biased journalists. You know, Shrine's also doing really well at the moment. That's only been up 6 months or so. And it's basically about a witch who teleports her way around. Allegedly, we don't know. The film never really does go too deep into whether it's real or whether it's just in her conscience. But she just tries these different kind of rituals and potions to lure her gay husband back from her lover. Well, you spend all this time just like fucking waffling on, going off into like different tangerines, that you forgot to tell them about the new film, which is of utmost importance because that's the one you're most proud of, allegedly. So I'll do that for you, just shut your gob. It's called Painkiller, and it's uploaded now on both channels, and it is fucking good, I have to say. Okay, it's a little bit crazy. It's about a guy who seemingly, when the film starts off, has lost his lover, his male partner, seeing as most of these films are all like
gay themed, were they all gay? He said there was a niche in the market, okay? Because there aren't that many films out there that cater for gay people which show affection and love and normality between gays, unless they're used as gimmicks or tokens or something like that. God, that's a big word for me, token. Anyway, the film really does go crashing bang into it, where you think he's lost his partner, but he ain't. Oh no, shit! I give that. Oh fuck, no. Anyway, so the man who's lost his partner just goes off on one and goes off into this real kind of freaky debauched day of getting drunk and taking all sorts of painkillers, and then he starts having conversations with a devil guy, but the devil is in disguise as many different people, mainly one politician here that I'm not going to mention. Way preeminent, but basically he's a fascist and a bigot, and basically it's quite a good film. I have to say, it's a bit drama, a bit comedy, and there's also the series Role Play Gay, which is doing quite well. Ended up going on a very big gay cable channel in America. Still doing well there as well. And Gay and Gay are the series. So yeah, there's series and films on the channel for everyone to explore around. But as I said, this basically was my opportunity to say a big thank you to all of you out there who have been following for years, who continue to follow, and for the newcomers. I love you. You might want to watch that, but really I need some painkillers right now because I've got a fuck off headache from listening to all this shit. So check you later. You're a fucking twat.